Team first, Ruben Amorim has dropped several key pointers on his working style and how exactly he intends to take on this humongous role that is upon him. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Now, here in this video, I'm going to give you 6 key things we've learned from Ruben Amorim's first interview after listening to it and watching it critically, reading the guy's body language, feeling from his voice and speaking from the heart. Listen, Cristiano Ronaldo referred to Ruben Amorim as the poet, and Amorim reacted to that, saying, "This is because I think when I speak from the heart, the passion, you can feel it." So Ronaldo referred to him as the poet. I can't wait to tell you what Ronaldo feels as an opinion about the new boss of Manchester United. Like, share, and subscribe, because trust you me, you will like this video, because Manchester United has finally, I say this with authority, Man United has finally got their man. Let's get it. So the first point, number 1, that I picked from Ruben Amorim's first interview is team first is his mantra. Team first is his mantra. That is why he says there must be a connection with the team. There must be a connection with the team. And by the team, he means, 1, the players. Every player should play for the team, for each other. The strength of every individual is in the strength of the unit. That is according to Ruben Amorim. And we've clearly seen for a long time that this has been a problem at Man United. The Garnachos playing for themselves, Rashford refusing to pass the ball to Højlund. We've seen this several times under Erik ten Hag. This is the first thing he emphasizes for him. He knows his idea is you must be playing for the team. And also when he talks about the team and connection, he includes the staff at the club, the supporters. They are part of the team. He's only a small player. And this is what he said in his own words, that he as the manager or as the head coach of the first team, he's only a small part of the whole team. But the whole team, it's his role to connect the whole unit so that we push in the same direction. And that is why when he entered Old Trafford and Carrington, he greeted everyone he saw. He greeted each and everyone he met in that place. That is Ruben Amorim for you. Listen, guys, we are moving forward. Point number 2, the top 6 things we learned from Ruben Amorim's first interview. He says, from day one, when he takes over Manchester United, you will see an idea. You may not like it, but you will see an idea. He says he's not going to be afraid to take on and apply his beliefs to train these players, his style, how he wants to play, because he has only 2 days of training. Whereas it will be only 2 days of training with the players before the game against Ipswich. He says you will see an idea of how he wants to play, how he wants to press, how he wants to defend, how they want to play together as in transitions, which patterns they try to play. He says you will see the idea. It doesn't matter whether you like it. Of course, he wants to win the game of football, but he wants to win with an idea. How do we run? How do we press? Everything has got to be through an idea. This is something we lacked under the previous manager. We struggled to know the idea that, honestly, Erik ten Hag wanted to implement at the team. We struggled to know the idea. This is Ruben Amorim for you. Organized from the onset, clear. He has said that is one of his most important things, the team, the idea, the identity of the team. He has to create an identity of the team. And you've got to see it from the start. Everyone has got then to push in the direction of that identity. Because first of all, you're a team. You've agreed on the identity you want to take because you've trusted him, that is the head coach, the one leading you in terms of that. And then flow with the identity, pack it. That's Ruben Amorim for you. Then he speaks about the character of the players being very important. He says from the first day, he wants to create principles, create the identity, and the character that Man United we had in the past. I like how he says we had in the past. Players should know. This has been another big problem. Man United players have for the longest time lacked character. They have lacked personality. They have lacked, understanding that they are playing for Manchester United. In fact, when he was moving on the tour, of Old Trafford and Carrington. He says this should be part of every player. Every player who joins should be given this tour for you to understand, because it helps you understand where you're going, what is expected of you, what Manchester United is. So he says you have got, as a player, to have the character that makes you a Manchester United player. That is important. This is Ruben Amorim coming and helping us correct the wrongs that we had suffered, we had endured for the longest time. I think for me that's very important. Then, of course, he was asked about why he chose Manchester United, and he says it's because of the connection he had with the people, and by the people he meant, of course, Sir Jim and Sir Dave Brailsford, but most importantly, Omar Berada, Jason Wilcox, and Dan Ashworth. For me now, that shows you that it is we are building a strong team. Again, team, guys, keyword team. Because he says, I don't want to, I had options, but Man United was my only option. But I like the people that I'm going to work with, because everyone wants to everyone wants to work with people that they like. You cannot work with people if you don't feel a connection with them, if you don't like them, if they've got the wrong energy. For me, what this shows is that probably Ineos have indeed signed the right people, because if they were able to win the heart of this guy, it means we are building a strong team, because they are as important as the manager. They are going to be the ones helping him in terms of transfers, in terms of bringing in players, in terms of making technical and decisions every day to take the club forward. So they have got to be there's got to be a connection between them, and if it's not there from the start, it will never take us anywhere. Very important. He says he liked the connection, but also the connection with the fans, because he knows what Manchester United is all about and how big it is, and you feel it. He says the moment you reach Man United, you feel how big this club is from the onset. You feel how big it is, and he says that connection also drove him, because he is a man of passion. He plays with passion, and he loves to feel it all the time. If you take that away from him, he won't do his job. This is Ruben Amorim for you. He also goes on and says we've got to use the power of the crowd. Use the power of the crowd. He says the power of the crowd is what is going to help us and push us. It's very important. That's why we are Manchester United. If we don't use the power of the crowd that we have, the huge crowd that we have, then why is it there? We've got to use it. But for us to be able to use it, we have got to give them something they will enjoy. The crowd moves with what they see. If it's interesting, if they see a fight from the players, if they see a connection in the players, if they see a passion, they certainly will come along. They certainly will move along with it. They'll be connected to the team, and they will back it up. For me, this he says is very important. This is what we need at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim indeed is coming in and is dropping things, in a in a very special way. He also spoke about the young players, asked about the young team and how they need time, and he says, whereas yes, things take time, it should not be an excuse. He says from day one they will set up a structure, play under an idea, but compete. They will be ready to compete. And he speaks about the young players and says the young players are certainly prepared to play. He won't be afraid to implement his ideas because the players are young and they need time. The way Eric Ten Hag kept trying to, act like he has the whole lifetime to work at Manchester United and put things right. This guy says they are young players, but the reason they are at Man United, the senior team, is because they are ready. So he will not be afraid to implement his ideas with these players and trust them that they can go on and execute them and compete, because this is the biggest club in the world, expected to be competing in every game. So that's what he says, that the fact that they are young, it can't mean, it shouldn't mean they can't. So from day one, he will push the idea to these young players and trust them to execute it and demand that they execute it. This is Ruben Amorim for you. And of course, he goes on to say that he will defend his players with his life, with his body, with his job, with everything he's got in him. He will defend his team because that's his job as the manager, to defend and protect the players. Why on earth? Tell me one reason then, guys. I've broken down for you this interview. Tell me one reason from what you've heard why you wouldn't love Ruben Amorim. Just give me one reason, just one, just one reason why you wouldn't love the poet. Why you wouldn't love the poet. This is Manchester United for you. This is certainly, I think for me, a very promising start. I was waiting to see this and see the clarity, the passion in this guy, the direction that he has, the knowledge. I feel like he's extremely, and now this is me giving my general analysis of this guy. He's extremely smart, extremely smart. I think he's one of those few special geniuses. I think they say there's a small percentage of people who are extremely smart and smarter than the rest. I think he's in that percentage, I'll tell you. Because the way he was answering all questions, the clarity in his responses, uh, the the clear understanding of the job and what he wants to do and how he wants to do it, the clear understanding of the magnitude of job he's taking on, but also the confidence he has got taking on a club like Manchester United at his age. He was doing this interview while standing, and you'd on the pitch at Old Trafford, and you're thinking, usually, most people, such interviews usually are done in your comfort, because if you've done TV before, if you've done an interview before, you know that you're more comfortable when you're seated. You're calm, you're not under pressure. This guy stood and was dropping logical and smart answers in front of quite a bunch of people, bellowing, throwing questions at him, and you're thinking, what a character, what a personality, what a guy. Ineos, for me, chose the right guy. He has Ruben Amorim. Listen, you've got my full backing, my full and utmost backing. 1,000,000% I'm in with Ineos, 1,000,000% I'm in with Ruben Amorim. That should not mean it is going to be an easy ride, but I see that he has got his clarity and he's not afraid to lay out his plans and how he's going to do it, because he has a work plan. He's not afraid to lay it out for us. He has told us from day one what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and what is important for him, what for him, and what are non-negotiables for him. He has clearly told us what he wants to do with Man United. Why then shouldn't I support him? Because I know there is clarity. Eric Ten Hag had no clarity. They had no clarity. I didn't see it. That's why we're all divided. One day you say decent, fair game, you blame the players. The other day, you're not sure what they're doing. And somehow we're expecting players to play under that lack of clarity. No way. Ruben Amorim has brought clarity, and this is where now we should be able to demand players to play, because the guy is clear in terms of how he wants them to play and how we expect them to perform. This is United for you, and trust you me, we have got the man who is going to make us huge again, great again, and who we are, certainly, as the biggest football club in the world. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. And listen, he's no longer called Ruben Amorim. His name is the poet, because Cristiano Ronaldo says so. Cheers.